Alright, taking a look at this project today, we have this unique kind of V columns with the beam, but right now this kind of overall entry piece is looking a little bit lacking. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a timber piece across there. So I think the one thing I'm just going to do off the bat here, just to make things a little bit easier for us, is I'm going to grab this part here, and we can go up here, and there's this isolation section box. So we're just going to click that, and oh, it looks like we grabbed too much, so maybe I'll just move that over. I'm just going to isolate this down a little bit so we can just see what we're working on. Let me pull this in a little bit more, and so now we can just kind of see the area we're working on. So what we want to do, and I'm just going to draw on the screen here, is we want to create a beam going across here, and we want to create a bit of a truss look, something like that. Maybe not, I don't know if it needs to be that traditional, but that's kind of what we want to do. So my first step with doing this is I like to set, I'm just going to hide this section box actually. I like to set my work plane to be the underside of this roof. So we're going to pick plane, and we're going to pick the underside line of that roof. And I'm just going to go to the bottom here, and I'm going to hide these footings here so we can just see up a little bit further. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our structure up here. We're going to go to beam, and we're going to go to some sort of timber, maybe an 8x10. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw basically to here, and then we're going to set our work plane to be the other side, like so. And we're going to draw the same beam going the other way. Draw it to around here, and now when we go back up, we have these two beams kind of following that area. So let's just clean that up a little bit. I'm going to make them completely proud of the exterior wall. So let's bring that out, and then I'll just use this beam to align that beam. And so that that actually joined really nicely as well, and it looks like it's actually a little bit down. Let's see, is there an offset? Yeah, so there's a -3-inch offset, so let's make that 0. And now that's kind of up in the peak there. And the other thing that you'll notice is it automatically joined in the center. If it didn't do this, there is this beam column join, and so this is maybe what you might see normally. And we just have to use these arrows. We click them both on each side to connect them up like that. And the next thing I want to do is I want to create a vertical member. So I'm just going to go again upside down, and we're going to go to structural columns. And one of my keys for doing these structural trusses like this is I usually make certain members smaller. So make this a vertical. And so I'm just going to make this a 6x6, and that way you can kind of see the connections a little bit nicer. So let's change this height. So this will be, I think, will be around, this will go up to level 4, I think. So we'll go to level 3. Let's just try that and see what that looks like. It's not high enough. So I think this will actually go to, maybe we'll make them both at level 4. And this will go 2 feet up. Let's see what that does. So I think this needs to be 4 feet. That works. Does that stick out? No, it doesn't. Okay, so that's good. And I think this will be 1 foot up, like so. And then we have this wall here, and we have this curtain wall. I'm just actually going to lower this down so that this curtain wall is only 8 feet in height, because we don't really need it to be much taller. So let's make that up to Looks like we have different top constraints. I'm just going to see what those all are. So let's make this go up to top of wall 4. Let's just make that 0. Let's see what that does. Yeah, there we go. That brings that down. Why do we have 2 curtain walls? Let's detach this. Okay, let's try bringing this down. So we have 2. We don't have 2 curtain walls there. Let's see why that's coming down here. So let me just see if I can grab that again. 0, 8 feet. Don't know why that's going up. So let's just try to bring these down. So this one has. Let's bring that down to 0. Wonder if this has a. Oh yeah, let's do reset profile. That'll help. Alright, that's the problem. And let's reset the view there. Alright, so now we have this kind of going down to the ground. Let's make this start at. I don't know why that's extending all the way down like that. Let's go to reset profile. And let's attach this to roof. Attach that to the wrong roof. Attach to roof. And what I'll do is I'll just copy this wall over the other side. In the newer Revits, you can actually snap sometimes. And it won't let me do that. So let's go to an elevation here. Let's go to the south elevation. And then let's mirror this over the other side. There we go. Let's back to our 3D. It's just a little bit of cleanup here. And so it looks like this is being extended up. So that will help that. And it looks like we already did. Let's see, do we have a wall there? No, we did. Alright. And we just got to trim and extend that a little bit. So just a little bit of cleanup here in this project. Mostly I have the truss done now. So then the last portion is we want to do our beam across. And again, I'm just going to draw this upside down. And I find, drawing a lot of this stuff in ceiling views or upside down like this in 3D is kind of helpful because it just gives you a little bit more control. So again, I'm going to make this bottom piece a 10 by 12. And I think sometimes just with modeling, it just helps to have a bit of a hierarchy with pieces. And I still have my plane set, so let's reset this work plane to be our top of wall 4, and then let's draw that piece across, and let's look at this in 3D. Oh, we're already in 3D, and we want to just raise this up so it matches that. I think that's looking good. So I might actually make this beam on the sides taller, so let's make this up 1 foot. So there we go, and then we'll make these side beams maybe a little bit taller so that that timber kind of intersects nicely. So let's go to duplicate here. I'll make these 10 by 16s maybe. See if 16s work. Yeah, 16s seem to work. And then the last kind of piece of this, which I'm going to hide this one here. Let's go to the bottom. And just for those angled members, what I usually do is I use columns, but we use a slanted column. And we can keep this as 6 by 6, but what we'll do is we'll roughly draw something like this. And then we can go back to our straight on view and edit that a little bit. So we want this to be probably 3 and then this to be the same here, 0. So something like that. Maybe let's move this over just proportionally like that, and maybe let's move this at a higher degree of angle. And I'm just going to spin 3D view to see that we're still okay. And I think I'm going to move it back a little bit. Let's see if we can move it this way. Yeah, we want to have a little bit of intersection there. And then now when we do this, we can do our join, or we can actually do cope. Let's do cope and notch. So let's cope this to that, cope this to that, and when we click this piece, change our notch distance to be 0.25. We don't want negative 0.25. So that's just a really tight notch there. And let's go to reset view, and then we have kind of a timber truss there. You know, maybe again we increase that angle a little bit. Let's do that in elevation view. Make it a full 45. See how it snapped there? I don't know if that made it off axis. No, it didn't. Okay, good. So let's go back to here, and then now we can mirror this to the other side. So a little bit of cleanup there. Oh, I got a mirror with copy. Mirror with copy. And maybe, and we do have to re-notch that, so let's click this member, let's go to notch, notch that to that, notch that to that, and that kind of creates a nice piece. And maybe we actually take this notch down to 1/16 of an inch, just so it's a little bit tighter there. And I might actually lower this down, the bottom down a tiny bit. Ooh, it doesn't look like it wants to go down. Let's see if we can notch that. Alright, that didn't seem to want to notch, but that's generally how we can create trusses. And if we wanted to create another profile like this, we could potentially copy this out. And let's go back to our 3D view. Let's go to the bottom. And we could copy this out again and have another one kind of near. Let's maybe go 5'6". So we could have another one out at the edge there. And it should keep that whole profile the same. I don't know if I like that or not, actually. But anyways, that's how we kind of create that profile.